Here we are in Lewis, and we've just come out of a pub called The Rights of Man, which is named after Tom Paine, who was a Lewis lad, went over to the States, where they've got a constitution, unlike us in the UK. They've got a lot more rights in America. Here, they're instigating all these United Nations and World Economic Forum policies, and we don't have the constitutional defences that they have in the US. And many of you will have heard of this idea of the 15-minute city, and everywhere is going to be classed as a 15-minute city or 20-minute town or whatever it is. Here in Lewis, for example. So what is the purpose of this? It sounds good to some people. Wow, you can have everything you need: schools, parks, recreational amenities, shops, all the things that you need from day to day within 15 minutes walk or cycle. Because that's the thing, it's not about car use, it's about a cycling or walking distance. Now that sounds okay, doesn't it? But this is going to be enforced. Why are they doing this? If they were really interested in people having all the amenities they need on their doorstep, why is it that the first thing they're doing for 15-minute cities is putting surveillance cameras up? Why is that? Why is the first thing they're doing alongside the surveillance cameras is putting roadblocks in? So what people need to realise is that all this policy is not about improving people's livelihoods. It's about control. And this is what the whole agenda is about. The whole agenda is about creating a technocracy. And a technocracy is where the powers that be, and I'm not talking about national governments here, I'm talking at a global level, they're going to have total control of population and resources. This is what they're doing with the green agenda, which of course isn't really green. They've contrived this climate change crisis, which is scientifically nonsense. There is no climate change crisis. Look out of your window from day to day. Do you see a climate change crisis? No. And this is what they do. They use these invisible threats that people can't deny, people can't prove that they don't exist, because they just have to take it as fact, what the scientists and the politicians tell them. So the 15-minute cities is all about, supposedly, about sustainable, healthy lifestyles. But that's not the real reason. The real reason for it is that they don't want you to travel. Now, they don't want you to use a petrol-engined or diesel-engined car. They want you to use electric cars. Now, realistically, that's not possible. There just isn't the energy to replace all the cars on the road at the moment with electric vehicles, and the technology is not there for it. And also, building electrical cars is highly damaging to the environment. You know, they use rare metals taken from places in the Congo and other parts of Africa. So I think people are very naive to think that we're simply going to replace all of our petrol and diesel engine cars with electric vehicles. No, they want to stop you owning a car. People are not going to have cars on their driveways in the near future. And we're talking very near future here. There's a government report called Absolute Zero, and people need to look it up. Please look it up. I don't know if you could Google it, because Google is part of the part of the mechanisms of censorship, but use another search engine if you can't find it. The government report should be available, because sponsored by the government, written by Oxford University academics. Absolute Zero shows what the plan is for curtailment of all travel. Are you aware that all the airports in Britain, except for Heathrow and Glasgow and Belfast in Northern Ireland, apart from those 3 airports in the UK, they're all going to close down. And I'm not talking about some distant dream here. They want to close them down by 2030, 7 years away. And by 2050, no airports at all. But of course, there will be flights. You'll still see planes in the sky. It's just they won't be passenger jets for the plebs like you and me. The elite will still be travelling. Oh, I just found 50p. Isn't that lucky? 50p. Now, luckily, I'm going to a pub that still takes cash, and this is another big thing. So thank you, 50p, because you've just given me the last paragraph of my talk, if you like, which is a big part of the control mechanism is to take away cash, to force people onto digital currency. And again, this is all about total control of population and resources, using the tremendous advances in digital technology. And they're going to use digital technology to stop people from traveling. Your electric car won't work if you're trying to go somewhere they don't want you to go. You won't be allowed to fly. Until 2050, you will still be allowed 1 long distance flight in your lifetime. That is a plan. This isn't just some mad conspiracy theory. Look at Absolute Zero Report, and that lays out the future. Unless we can change this now, while we've still got the opportunity to use what's left of our political, social, civic institutions and processes to put a stop to what's going on, because most of our MPs, all of our MPs at the moment, are just falling into line and just accepting all this. So please pass this message on. They want to curtail your life. They want to curtail your movement. They want to monitor you. They want to control every resource that you use. They want to know every penny or pound of your money that you spend and what you spent it on. Is this the future that you want for you, your children and grandchildren? I would think not. So share this message around, and let's rise up against the new world order.